Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome back to the road to Gladiator. Today, I want to talk about a topic that I think is going to strike home with a lot of you guys, and I know for myself right now, going through the whole process of starting fresh at endgame, trying to play arenas, it's extremely relevant for myself. This is something that if you guys have been watching stream for the past week, I've been teeter-tottering on whether or not I wanted to have a conversation about this right away, and I decided that I did want to have a conversation about it as I felt that I could help shed some light on this issue and help make immediate improvements to the situation. So, the title of the topic, let's call it Name Not Number. So Name Not Number focuses on World of Warcraft PvP. And let's just start very generically. When someone is looking to join or be a part of something that's involved in World of Warcraft PvP, anything competitive, whether it's arenas, 2v2, 3v3s, or rated battlegrounds, people always look at your number. Now, you might be like, well, what's that number? I think it's pretty obvious that number is your rating. And for me, this has always been a huge problem trying to get involved into World of Warcraft PvP because it makes you feel like you are not a person. It makes you feel like your number classifies where you are at and where you can go and where your skill limit's at. And that's completely not the case. And I think that this is very relevant for not only myself, but the entire World of Warcraft community. And it's an area that has so much room for growth and improvement. It's actually insane. And to comment on that, it's almost not even a fault of the game itself. It's just the culture and community over a long period of time really hasn't taken great steps in this direction to make improvement. So I wanted to sit down and have a talk about it through my experience so far and get your guys' opinion on it to bounce off of that. So for me, the first thing I want to talk about is the number your rating. The number gives people a false guarantee that allows you to skip work, time, and effort. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you are, a 2K rated player, or someone in Trade Chat or the group finder in World of Warcraft says, looking for players that are 2K experience, right? It's pretty standard. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys will see that. And that number gives you a false guarantee, right? Because it doesn't actually show where that person is at now. It doesn't give you any confirmation to what their skill set is currently. More often than not, too, when people are talking and using the number and their rating for joining people and meeting people in those kind of PvP situations, they're more likely than not going to use whatever their peak number is at any given time in World of Warcraft, right? So if, someone came back from Burning Crusade and is coming to Legion and their max rating was 2400, well, that's from like 10 years ago, right? So how relevant is that? The number is irrelevant. And that's what I want to get at. The number is irrelevant. What you want to be looking at is you want to be looking at the person, the name of the person, get to know the person, right? And that sounds really silly, but I feel like it has to be said. It's crazy that we've gone this long without getting back to that, right? Because if you look at it from just the number standpoint, you're assuming their immediate value, right? You're assuming the amount of time they put in. You're assuming they understand what's going on. You're assuming that they're able to communicate. You're assuming they have good situational awareness. You're assuming that they have a good understanding of the Legion meta at this point, right? That's a lot to assume, right? And assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So don't do that. Look for qualities in the person. This is something I want to get into a little bit later down the line here, but it's going to be important for yourself, putting yourself out there, looking to meet people in PvP, to set goals for yourself and look for similar people that have similar goals. We'll get into that a little bit later. I want to continue talking about this. So I think that there is a ton of room for growth and improvement in the WoW community, and it really comes down to this whole number thing, right? Because the number doesn't really say anything about the person. It shows you, well, it does, right? It shows you where that person has been at in a current period of time. So it gives you an idea of where their experience has, and that experience isn't to be completely washed aside, right? If someone has a, multi-rank 1 Gladiator or something like that, they have experience, right? But it doesn't guarantee that you and them will play well together. And that's the catch, right? World of Warcraft is a multiplayer game. You need to find people that have similar mindsets, similar goals as yourself to be able to improve and get better. And a lot of that just comes down to what are your goals? What is your attitude? Do the people that you are playing with share those similar goals? In that case scenario, that's where you're going to have the most fun. That's where the games are going to be more worthwhile to you. And no matter what your goals are in terms of, maybe you just want to play on Saturday nights after work, maybe you're looking to push rating, whatever it be, you set those goals for yourself and everything else will align because you'll surround yourself with people that have similar goals and you'll have a much better time playing World of Warcraft. Now, I want to talk about my experience so far since the Legion season has started. I came from the 19 Twinking community, and the community was completely destroyed. The competitive side of the community was destroyed going into Legion because they merged XP off Battlegrounds with XP on. So, the competitive side of me wants to play endgame PvP, and my goal for myself is to try to push Gladiator. I will get to that at the end of the video, as long as a follow-up, but that is my goal, and I'm looking for people with a similar mindset. But I know where I am right now. I have a lot to learn. Just like everyone else, though, it's a new meta, so I don't feel that far behind. And I went, and I have to find people to play with. I don't have that many people to play with. I had, maybe 3 or 4 buddies that I knew previously that were going to be coming into Legion that were wanting to play endgame. And outside of that, I have to meet people. So I'm trying to find ways to put myself out there to meet people and get involved. So the first thing that I did was, outside of talking to people that I had knew and see what their interests were, is then I went to the World of Warcraft Arena Group Finder, which I'm sure a lot of you guys use. And this is where it stood out to me so blatantly that there is such a huge issue in the game with this whole number system, right? You go look at the World of Warcraft Arena Finder system, you just scroll down and 90% of what you see is, Glad Pharaoh looking for, 2 partners, be good, don't suck. It's just like the worst attitude in the world, right? People are expecting other people to come in, have experience, be immediately good, immediately synergize with no background. It just doesn't make sense. And the people that have that kind of attitude, they're not actually going to improve. And you might say that to me like, oh, okay, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's never been a Glad. But with that being said, you're not going to improve if you're not open to communicating, if you're not open to criticism. If you don't have a good attitude, you're not going to go anywhere. World of Warcraft is a multiplayer game. You can't play 3v3s by yourself. And if you're playing with 2 other people that are so cynical and toxic that you're looking at each other every single time someone screws up, I wonder how much you're going to improve before you quit and move on and look for new partners again, right? So that kind of attitude about the whole number, what the number is worth, is just a really toxic and misleading attitude in World of Warcraft. And with that being said, I tried to put myself out there into groups where I could get into and get involved with. And I'll tell you what, my initial experience going into the group finder is the first day I used the group finder, I've used it like 2 or 3 days now. The first day I used the group finder, I had a bad experience. I was joining groups, people were just leaving after like the first game when they could have played better, I could have played better as a team. Either or, but people just have really bad attitudes the first day, and I was like, man, like, do I really want to use this system again? Because it was really poor. Like, it really didn't go well because of the merits and the goals that people have set for them. People don't want to take credibility. People don't want to look at themselves for where they can improve and how they can get better as a player and how they can get better with people around them. But I ended up playing a little bit later into the night, and I met a few cool people at the end of the night that had a good attitude. I ended up adding them to Real ID, and we played a lot of games at the end of the night. And the next 2 days as well, too, went much better. I ended up finding a lot of people to play with. And you know what? This is something that I think is really uncomfortable for people that are just starting out in World of Warcraft PvP. It may not be as relevant for players that are already established. You already have your group of friends. You have a guild that you play with. You play at a certain rating. You know everyone. That's fine and dandy, and good for you for doing that because that's what brings the people into the game. It's the people. The game, World of Warcraft reels you in as a game, but it's the people that make you stay, and it's the people that bring you back. So good for you if you already have that, but I know as myself, and I know that there's a ton of people out there from who I've talked to just from stream and friends of mine, that initial barrier of getting into World of Warcraft PvP is so hard and it's so intimidating because there's just such a false and poor mindset for the number. And the number doesn't matter. It's the name. It's the person. So I think that some of the pros of the World of Warcraft Arena Finder system is, one, it does give you an opportunity to meet people. Whether or not you end up grouping with them or how long you play, you do get an opportunity to meet people. And I think it's really important. Something that I've had success on so far is when I've been playing, I don't really care how well or how poorly the games go, but if there's something that we can improve on after the game, I talk about it. Almost every single game I have something to say after the game, whether it's something I could do better, whether it's something our teammates could do better, just trying to make improvements and trying to get better as a unit, and I've had a lot of success at that. But I felt like the times where I've put in more effort to our success as a team, rather than sitting there and having a bad attitude and not saying anything to anyone in my group, we have had way more success, and I've met more people and I've added people onto Real ID through that way, and we've had more success. I've been going up faster in my rating because of that. So I think it's really important that when you're playing with people, you're open, have a good mindset. Now, I guess that the bad incentive with the World of Warcraft Finder, and this is not even due to the I don't know what you want to call it, I guess the system itself. It's kind of the culture of World of Warcraft at this point. It's just the wrong incentive and wrong drive. So if I go look into the World of Warcraft Arena Finder, and like I was saying before, if you go look in there, it says like 2.4 RMD, looking for Druid to play with, be good, no mistakes, don't suck, right? Like, who wants to play with those kind of people? Like, what? Like, what kind of an attitude is that? Like, how... Here's the thing, it's like, they're not going to get any better than they already are if that's their attitude, right? They want people to come in, immediately mesh with them, immediately get better, and that's not how the game works, man! You gotta be able to work with people, you gotta be able to put in time, you gotta be able to grow synergy, grow relationships. Learn from your mistakes. Be okay with your mistakes. As soon as you sit there and you try to skip the mistakes, as soon as you try to bypass all the small stuff, you're not getting better. You're just ignoring your flaws, and that's not going to help you get any better, even if it's uncomfortable to go back and look at where you fucked up or where your teammate is. And yeah, it's not something that people like want to look at it. Obviously, it sucks to go back and be like, man, you know what? I sucked this game. I did really badly, but you know what? Maybe you go back and look at those games and you learn something from it. Or hey, you know what, maybe you played the game perfectly and you ended up winning the game, but there was something on your team where it's like, oh, you know what, we screwed up DRs here and we probably could have won the game a minute later. So I know a few random examples, but I think it's extremely important that you find people that have similar qualities and similar goals to yourself, because World of Warcraft, it's a great game, right? It is. It's a great game. It's been going on for, 12 years now. Extremely long time. I've been playing this game since I was 8 years old. I'm 20 now. It's a huge part of my life. I love it. But I could tell you what, it's the people that make you stay in the game and not the game itself. So of course World of Warcraft has a great allure. It has a great company backing it. Blizzard. I love Blizzard. Big fan. Always will be. It's the people, though. It's the community that brings you back. And you've got to remember that really to the very core of the game, right? Because if you're not open to meeting people, if you're not open to talking with people, communicating, well, what's the point of playing the game then, right? So it really goes back to the core ideals of what World of Warcraft is about. And that's getting to know people from all over the world and trying to improve together and get better as a team. Now, I want to go back and talk about the original topic that I brought up earlier. Name, not number. Find people with similar goals. Now, what might that be? Your goals are going to be different than mine. Let's talk about some. Like I said earlier, you could just want to be playing for fun. Maybe you play a few days a week. Find people that have that similar attitude. Find people that are looking to play for fun. Maybe you want to play a bunch of different classes. Maybe you want to triple DPS, shoot the shit. That's all good. Find people that have that similar attitude. Or if you're someone that's wanting to push rating, look for people that are open to criticism, want to improve, get better in that aspect as well too. But it's important that you take the time for yourself to set goals for yourself for what kind of people you want to surround yourself with, so that way when you meet people and you go forward, or when you're looking and put yourself out there to meet people, that you already have an idea for what you want to do, and then finding the people will come easier and you'll have a much better time playing the game. So I'm a person of action. I initially did not want to make this video because I felt like I couldn't act on it immediately. But that's not the case. I realized I actually am in a great position to make this video. So I went ahead and made a personal list for myself to show you guys an example of what you can do for yourself to give yourself some sort of objective, some sort of goals for putting yourself out there and meeting people that have similar mindset to accomplish whatever you wish to accomplish, whether it be arenas, World of Warcraft, raiding. Really, this is just like a life skill, but I'm applying it to World of Warcraft arenas in this case scenario because that's what I'm doing. So, my number one goal this season is pushing Gladiator. Now, that's going to come very opposite to the whole talk that we have been having so far about name, not number. But with that, I want to talk about the qualities of people that I want to be playing with to push for that rating. So secondly, it's very important to me that I'm playing with people with a positive attitude. I want to show up every single day and be excited to play with the people that I'm going to be playing with, regardless of what comp we're doing. You know, I want to be there having a good time, whether or not we're winning or losing, right? Because not every day is going to be perfect. Every day is, different. People have good and bad days, but being around people that you enjoy being with is going to make it a fun experience, which is so important, man. You want to be excited about playing the game. So I think that that's really important, and I wanted to say that right up front. I think that's the most important thing going into it. Find people you enjoy playing with. For me, having a positive attitude is a huge part of that. 3, the ability to be able to communicate, and I'm going to tie that in with also being able to take criticism. So what I mean by that is can be differentiated on different levels. For myself, I want to be able to play with people that can get onto voice comms and we can push rating, so that way we can instantly communicate through, probably curse voice. In my case scenario, that's the program I use, so curse voice. If you would want to play with me, you can use curse voice, and we can talk through there. And also, I would tie that in with being able to be open to criticism, because if someone's going to sit there and even after a game you won and feel like there's nothing you can do better, well, that's probably wrong. Now, almost in every situation, in every single game you're going to play, in every area of your life, there's probably something you can do better if you want to be nitpicky, right? So it's important to be open to how you can improve. One thing that's a huge pet peeve of mine is I hate when I lose a game and then my teammates are like, man, there's nothing we could have done better to win that game. I'm like, really? I'm pretty sure, okay, maybe our comp is not favored in the matchup, or maybe I'm playing Battlegrounds and the other team's composition ended up outclassing us or something like that, but there's usually something you can do to put yourself in a better situation, or the way you executed in the game to do better. And I think it's really important for me to surround myself with people that have that mindset, because that's how you're going to improve. You're going to be able to go back, look at what went wrong, what went well, and give yourself some goals and areas to improve on in that aspect. So now the next thing I want to talk about is, when do I play? I play in the afternoons. More often than not, I play most during the afternoons. Occasionally I play at night, but for those people that want to play with me, I play in the afternoons. And I guess to tie that into that as well too, I normally stream too. So people have to be okay with the fact, if you would like to play with me, that I do play in the afternoons, I do stream, and you need to be comfortable with that. I'm a nice guy. I don't think you have anything to be afraid of. I know some people are maybe a little stream shy. That's okay, but that's something that would be part of my goal set, is being able to play with people on stream. So that would be something as well too. Now the 5th one is a goal that I have to put up there that's going to sound really blunt to some people, and that's no long-term guarantee. So what I mean by that is I want to be able to go at my own pace, and I'm going pretty fast. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this, so I'm not going to guarantee that, a month from now or a few weeks later that I want to continue playing with you. It depends on how much you want to push yourself too. So like I said, I'm going to be going at a pretty fast rate. I'm learning quickly, and I want to be able to go at whatever pace that I'm going at. So if I'm not looking to have super long-term partner guarantee if that makes sense. So I'm open to playing with people, but there's no guarantee that a month from now or a few weeks from now that I would continue playing with you. That kind of depends on how well we mesh together, what's your work ethic, how much are you playing, what's the pace that everyone's going at. So I would say that as well too. Now, if I didn't make this clear originally, I'm actually putting myself out there. If all of these goals align with what you are looking for and what your skill set and what your goals are for the first season of Legion, I'm open to playing. My real ID is Fearthebuns, hashtag 11136. Should be in the video description. I'm open to playing. So add me in game. Let me know what you're playing. I'm pretty flexible. I play Sub-Rogue. Sub-Rogue is one of the most flexible classes to play with right now. I'm open to playing with people with all of the similar above goals. I want to play, and that's probably the last thing for me, is I just want to play. That is the only way you get better, is by playing the game. So, as a final note, remember that the game is what you make of it, and the people that you surround yourself in the game are why the game is important and why you are able to come back and enjoy World of Warcraft for what it is. It's not the number, it's the people. And if you don't get to know the people and you don't put yourself out there to meet people with similar goals, similar achievements, similar mindset, then you're going to be stuck in this place where you're just fixated on the number, and the number doesn't get you there, guys. The number is a false guarantee of where people have been, and you want to really look at the goals. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a very long rant today, but it's something I wanted to get off my chest. It's something that was so immediately relevant to myself, and I know that there's a lot of people out there in the World of Warcraft community that would benefit from hearing this conversation. As an immediate solution too, I want to encourage you guys, go set goals for yourself too, for people that you want to play with. Now, you may not share the similar goals that I have set for myself for what I want to do this season in Legion, but feel free to use the comment section down below. Put yourself out there to meet people. It's a great place to start. List your goals, throw in your real ID, and you can meet some people that have a similar mindset and a similar goal from the channel. As a final note, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate all the support, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Keep it easy, everyone. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome back to the Road to Gladiator series. Today, we're going to be breaking down our first rated games since this Tuesday the arena season has launched for Legion. With that,